Gabe, Altieri, and I are back here at the Syracuse football practice fields for some more 2013 preseason coverage. And Gabe, let's break down the special teams. And this is a unit that, unlike the offense or the defense, they don't really have a lot of key losses.
No, you have Ross Krautman returning, which is big for this team because he started from freshman year through his junior year and now obviously a senior. But the thing is, he hasn't always been automatic, so that's a question mark. And then Jeremiah Kobina battling injuries last year on the kickoff returns. We'll see how good he can be.
Even though there's a bunch of returners coming back that have a lot of experience that everybody's familiar with, there are some questions, like you just said. In 2012, the injury bug hit a lot of these players. You saw Jeremiah Kobina and even Richie Desir, who had the punt returns.
Yeah, and both those guys, who knows how long those were bothering them, especially Richie Desir, who kind of was battling nagging injuries all year, even though he was playing in a lot of those games. The question is, how big can they be? Because it's going to be more important than last year. The offense isn't as prolific as it was last year. They keep saying they're going to go up-tempo, but they're going to need good field position.
That field position is very big this year with the offense, losing a lot of guys from last season. And then Ross Krautman, we talked about him earlier. Consistency is going to be the key for him coming into 2013.
Yeah, really, because besides his freshman year, Ross hasn't been nearly as automatic as he was. It seemed like his freshman year he couldn't miss back when SU made its first pinstripe bowl. And
kind of declined a little bit.
Yeah, last year. And you even heard Coach Marone say that it looked a little mental, that you wonder if it was in his head, because he obviously has the skill and the talent to make these kind of field goals. But this year it's even more important because of that field position thing. SU needs to capitalize on its opportunities.
And a couple guys that we haven't talked about on the special teams, that you have Jonathan Fisher coming back on the punts, and then you have Ryan Norton, a guy who was very, very explosive for Syracuse there on the kickoffs.
Yeah, both guys trying to pin the offense back, much like they did last year to a lot of teams, because I think with this pass rush, as we mentioned earlier, with Marquise Sproul, Dyshawn Davis, Cam Lynch, I think they can help pin them back and put a lot of pressure on those opposing offenses.
And then another change from the special teams over to the coach. We saw Doug Marone, not only the head coach, but then he also took over the special teams. And head coach this year, Scott Schaefer, not really having that. He's given it to someone else this year.
Yeah, Tim Daoust is going to be the special teams coach, and we'll see how this works out. He's a very intense guy, gets in your face, and that's something you don't expect a lot of times from a special teams coach. But hey, just like I mentioned, maybe Rosso's a mental thing. A guy like Tim Daoust can really get your confidence up, get you amped up for those big kicks.
And of course, he has that intensity because he is also the defensive line coach. We saw him took over that unit last year, and then in 2010 and 2011 he coached the defensive ends. So maybe that kind of attitude coming from those years of experience working with the defense. Well, that's all we have for the special teams, but our season coverage all season long right here at sportsblog.citrustv.net. And of course, the season gets underway August 31st against Penn State at MetLife Stadium. For Gabe Altieri, I'm Heather Prusak, and thanks so much for watching.